Welcome back to Two Canadians at Kafe Lise, a Vigor podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Anton, and with me is the other host, DJ Spencer.
Hello.
And this is episode 51. And today we don't have a specific topic in mind. We're just going to talk about something that was recently revealed by the Vigor team of something that's coming. And so we just thought we would just talk about that. Before we go too far, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to leave us some comments below. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing them.
Yes.
It's all great.
Doc, I think we actually do have a topic. We do have a topic. Yeah. It's just a discussion.
We have a topic. It's a discussion. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Recently, they put a little. This is really short. 1.5 minute video, I believe, is what it was approximately. Where Forsythia was
2.5.
Oh, 2.5. Sorry, 2.5 minute video. Where Forsythia was talking about what's going to be happening coming up with Legacy Seasons and the Shelter. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So just to recap, though, this is part of the Vigor Explained series. So this is something they did start like over a year ago, I think. But it kind of fell by the wayside where they're talking. It's supposed to talk about like features of the game. And they're kind of like bringing it back to life type thing. So if they do like keep it up, like stuff like this is great, I think, for the community, and it's good publicity and everything. Like more information out there and more video, more content is like great in my opinion. So I'm kind of excited that they brought this back, because I think there was only literally just one episode, and it was talking about the crossplay, because at the time that was a hot topic. There were dev streams were literally just littered with those questions about how crossplay worked and why wasn't PlayStation playing with Xbox and Switch and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a great idea that it's coming back. Anyways, sorry.
And here we are a year later, and they're still talking about it.
Well, some things are out of their control, right? So
no, totally. I'm not saying it's their fault at all. It's just these things take a lot of time sometimes, especially when it's a big thing like that. But this one, it was just talking about potential shelter improvement that's going to be coming down the line. It's still a little ways off, because in the video Forsythia mentions it'll be coming in season 15. That's their current plan.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a weird one, because it's directly to do with taking over for Legacy Seasons. So they just recently released the last Legacy season they're going to be releasing, they say. That was season 9, I believe it was.
Yeah, Stalkers.
And so they said is the last one they're going to be doing. So if you came in late, season 10 and on aren't going to be released as legacies, apparently, according to this. You still have time, if you've purchased all the legacies, to try to finish them. But because they said season 15 is the current mark for when they're trying to get this out. And if they're sticking to the 4-month schedule that they're currently using, then we'd be seeing it around second week of June, I believe is what we're believing. Because the next season 14, whatever it's going to be called, should be in February. So a ways to go. And it's really interesting. And very, very light on details, obviously. I think they just said the plan is that this new shelter improvement that you'll be able to build, and again, no real details about it, will take the place of Legacy Seasons. So if somehow with this new shelter improvement, you'll be able to get stuff that you could get in Legacy Seasons before. And typically on Legacy Seasons, if you go through them, they're kind of like toned down, not toned down, but they're not quite the same as a full season, because there's not 2 tiers like there were in a full seasons. But you would get cosmetics, typically outfits, usually 1 or 2 different types of outfits in a season. You would get weapon skins, usually a couple plans, at least a couple plans generally. And that sort of followed suit in the legacy seasons that they were doing. What else came in legacy seasons? Was there anything else other than that?
Well, they
Crowns? Did you get
reduced the
crowns? You
number
did
of
get
crowns. Yeah, they reduced the number of crowns because obviously,
Yeah.
like a regular battle pass is like, well, depending on when it used to be like 690, and then it went up.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it fluctuated because it was a bit more, and then it went down, and then when they added to the battle pass, it went back up again.
Right.
But you always got more crowns back from the battle pass. So every time there was a legacy season brought on, you got less crowns, but that's because the cost of the legacy season was lower than the actual battle pass at the time. And so like you were still kind of getting a bit extra crowns, but like so let was the legacy season like 360, I think, like that, 360, 390. So you might get like
probably around there. It's like not quite half, because I think when it was 690, it might have been 330. I don't know for sure though.
Yeah.
So it varied. It wasn't 100. It was the same, but it was generally like close to half of a season.
Like I haven't bought a legacy season because except for like season 1 and 2 were the only ones I didn't play. So it's been so long. But so you basically got a little bit more crowns. So you might get like 400 crowns, let's say. It was only like an extra like 20, 30 crowns from the legacy season. So
and I purchased a bit more because on Xbox I started in season 4, so I only had to buy the first 3. But when I was playing on PlayStation and on Switch, I was buying some legacy seasons to try and get some of the consumables, like the
plans.
Yeah, plans and outfits and skins and such for those. And but they were also really light on detail. Well, they didn't have any details on what happened. Like the legacy seasons are sticking around until this new improvement comes out, and then as far as we understand, they're gone. But then if you had paid for a legacy season and hadn't had a chance to finish it, there's no details on what's going to happen there, like afterwards, right?
No, I think it's gone. It's gone. So like you have to basically like figure out if you're going to be able to finish it or whatnot, or get what you want out of the legacy season, right? But like if your goal is to get plans, like you could still get it out of crates, right? You could get out of shootout crates, elimination crates. So, but at the same time, like yes, if you want, honestly, like it's a curious move because at this point, I'm wondering if people will stop buying legacy seasons and wait till this new feature comes out.
It's really it's hard to know because we really don't know how this new feature is going to work, right? Because a 2.5 minute video, there was like nothing. Because really, if you're thinking about it,
I'm not expecting them to like divulge everything because it's like 6-7 months away, let's say, and
but they could have given us some idea, because if this is replacing legacy seasons, well, what could this improvement do? Like maybe it's a crafting station, like not crafting as in weapons, but like crafting as in outfits. Maybe it's like a sewing station. There's a sewing machine up in your loft in the second floor, so maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe you can go into it once you have it built, I guess, like if there's like different levels of it, it's like I don't know. I guess most things only have, there's different levels. There's like 13 levels to each upgrade, so I guess maybe there's 13 levels
everything
to this
though,
thing,
right?
well,
like
true. No, because
some
the
stuff
generator has like 5.
And like what if this levels to like every season that ever occurs? So it's like exponential, right? So like let's say we
like
finish
each level
13,
right?
So once we're done 13, then it's going to have a 13th level. Once we're done
Right.
season 14, it's going to have an extra level. Because maybe what it's going to be, I'm wondering, I'm kind of curious, is maybe it's like you unlock a level, and that's the level is indicative of the season.
The legacy season,
But
sure.
yes, and then as you progress, maybe that level contains a kind of like a battle pass type thing where it's a progress bar where once you finish, as you progress, you get those items from the legacy seasons, and then uh you acquire them, and then once you're done, then you're at, let's say, level 2, and
Only
then
thing with that is if you already have the legacy season, then there's no progression.
that's
I
true
was
too.
almost maybe thinking that it gives you the opportunity to go in and use the upgrade to craft something, almost like crafting, um, where you're like, okay, I don't have, from this legacy season 1, I don't have this skin, so I can go in, I can choose that skin and craft it.
And craft it.
Yeah, sort of like we do now with weapons and whatever, like and
Maybe
consumables.
that'd be interesting, because then you could like have a shelter upgrade to where it's like just for cosmetics type thing.
Yeah, like you could choose
uh
a cosmetic that's from a legacy, as long as you've gotten the upgrade to the proper level. So
yeah,
just like with the crafting table, whatever, you have to have a level 6 to be able to make this gun. So if you want to be able to make the uh, the hunter's outfit, then you have to have a level that's level 2, I think, maybe, or maybe they'll go reverse order. Maybe a level
mm-hmm.
1 table will get you level 13, you know, um, goods because that's the most recent, and then level
Well, maybe
13 table would get you level 1. I don't know. I'm just
maybe
spitballing.
yeah, no,
Um,
well, it's we're trying to get, but
yeah.
actually
Well, by
I
then
was
it's
kind
gonna be
of
level
thinking,
15, or it's gonna be season 15 when it comes out. So it'd be like levels 14 and back, I guess. Like
yeah,
passes 14 and
um
back.
actually I just remembered something that was said in it, and honestly I'm wondering if it has to do with food resources, because
Using food.
at one point Forsythia said, we hope that it will be fruitful for all Outlanders. So what if basically you need to donate food, because like we talked about it last episode, the
Yeah.
food donation, it is so easy to get your 10,000 food. And what's funny is with the current shelter generation of food, I thought I'd be losing out, but it just seems like I'm getting more food than before type thing. Like it seems weird. I just seem to be like climbing more and more food, but
Hmm.
maybe it's
Well,
just in my mind. But what if they're revamping the food donations somehow, and this is tying in with the legacy stuff
right.
somehow? So what if
Maybe.
like the more food you donate at this shelter improvement, uh, you get like some legacy stuff?
Hmm.
Because
Potentially.
other than crates,
Right.
I'm wondering
Do you
if
think?
that's hint or we're just reading like too
Yeah.
much into it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say because I know the food production isn't quite as fruitful as it was before. Just because, yeah, like if you're signing in once a day, then your rat
Yeah,
traps will be maxed out, and you'll get just under a
yeah,
thousand food from them.
hmm,
And your box of herbs, or no, box of plants, or whatever that is, um,
yeah.
they don't max out in a day, but I think they're about
No,
halfway, maybe not
yeah,
quite halfway.
they're about halfway.
Yeah, so I think you get not quite 2,000 food in a day if you only log in
Yeah,
once a day to collect.
yeah,
So over a week, that's 14,000 food. So yeah, you're making your 10,000 still pretty easily if you're
yeah,
maxed out. But you're not. Before is quite a bit more. I think it was a lot
yeah,
more. If I recall correctly, yeah,
yeah. See what I try to do when I like play Vigor is like when I start, obviously like I loot everything I need around my
yep,
shelter, and
yeah, yeah,
then before I jump off, I go again because I'm trying to buy that extra time
a
for
little
like
bit
the rat
extra.
traps, because like you said, right? Um, so I don't know, because like I swear I'm not like looting. much food in encounters or anything like
I
that. So
yeah, like if I come across it,
I
I'll
don't know
pick it
what it
up
is.
just because
Yeah,
it's definitely good XP. Um,
yeah.
and before it was like the first thing I would delete, and it's still pretty often the first thing I'll delete. Though now, because I just started building my final shelter upgrade of I think like a few days ago,
Oh,
so I
congrats!
don't. Yay.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I don't need anything anymore. So
Yeah,
now my first things I'll delete for sure are like gray
hmm
resources, and then fertilizer. Glass is still the best XP, so I try to hold on to the glass.
yeah,
But and then that's the one thing with food. Even though it's pretty good XP to pick it up, you don't get any extra XP for taking it out. But
yeah.
now that we don't make as much food, if I can take it out, I will. So yeah. And I've
hmm
been getting more challenges too, saying loot so much food on occasion.
Okay. Actually, I
Yeah.
haven't had that one. It feels like in a couple of weeks, to be honest. But
Okay. Well, I know I've had it recently, so that was one.
okay, yeah. I know it's in the loot pool. It just or in the
Yeah.
challenge pool. It's just it feels like I haven't had it for a while. But
Yeah.
there's so many other ones to play with. So
Hmm.
so
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's hard to say. Like, are we going to use food, like you said, to buy these upgrades? Yeah. Or
yeah.
yeah, they did. There was no mention of resources, so no way of
No,
knowing if it's going to
but
require a new resource. Yeah.
I would think it would. So like, what if it's like you unlock it with like whatever materials, whatever resources, right? But then
Yep.
you have to donate food to get the legacy stuff.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe using the food to, maybe
Because
like corn
they
husk
have to do
making
something
or,
about the
or, or
food.
hemp to make fabric.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something, right? Like because it's like all this food has to be going bad at some point. It's like you're literally one outlander at your shelter, and it's like
Yeah.
yeah, you could donate to the needy outlanders at the bottom of the hill, but
You still have a lot of extra food.
you still have a lot of extra food. So
Yeah.
um, I don't.
Hmm. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though. I enjoy like this kind of stuff where we're kind of like guessing where they're going, type
Yeah.
thing. Try to
See,
get
how
our
close are
minds
we?
into yeah. So
We'll definitely have
it's
to revisit and say, okay, we were
yes,
totally off, or we weren't too
yeah.
bad. We were
We
pretty
nailed it.
close, but
Totally nailed
yeah,
it.
nailed it. I don't think we've nailed it
Um,
yet when they've come up with a new thing. So, but we've.
nah, well, like we mentioned like monthly challenge. Well, seasonal challenge. We got the um, or sorry, I we mentioned monthly challenges. We got seasonal ones, so kind of close,
Pretty close. That's
you
pretty
know.
close. That's
But
true. We're still
uh,
waiting on seasonal leaderboards instead of instead of just the
yeah,
one leaderboard. That'd be
yeah.
nice.
I think that's going to require a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
I had this good discussion the other night with like um, Dizzy and Ghoulie, Tiny, and a few other people, and like I think the biggest thing is like they could only track so much data right now because of like what they're using to track
Hmm.
stats, and that's why the leaderboards haven't been revamped. And I don't know. I would love to hear them say like, yeah, they're working on it, but like I
Hmm.
feel like it's quite the endeavor, and especially like this is a while ago, but I think myself had asked about it, and then someone else asked about it. About Unreal Engine 5 instead of like because it's built with 4,
Right.
and they're like I think it was actually one with Johanny because he was on it, and he kind of mentioned that there's a lot of like custom code, and that was kind of like not to say holding it back, but it was causing some issues. Or
Right.
so it's like how much legacy code is kind of like holding back upgrading to like let's say Unreal Engine 5, or like the upgrading for like uh, the data, like the stat tracking type thing. I'm kind of curious, but Who knows? But it's like they've had like a big enough changeover. Like the person who did like the stat tracking initially, like they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Like a
Oh, he's
number
not.
of
I didn't
dev
realize that.
members.
Yeah.
And it was one of the things we were talking about. I thought it was built in house, but someone was seemingly thought it was like a third party plugin that they're using. But like, there's literally not a ton of stats being tracked, so it kind of leads me to believe that it was something built in house. But again, like we'd have to go back to like a bunch of dev streams to try to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it's been a while that this like the current team's in place, and I'm hoping like Doc, I don't remember if like you program with your IT job, but like I have, and like picking up like someone's existing code base and try to figure that out and take over and own it is not a lot of fun and can take like forever. So it's not like some easy feat either, especially if there's no documentation and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah, best of luck to whoever is like handling that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's not even just programming. Doing that same kind of thing, even as taking over somebody's existingly built infrastructure of some type, right?
Yep.
And then trying to figure out, okay, why with done things in certain ways if there isn't adequate documentation for it,
Yep.
and what am I going to break if I change this? It's not just programming; it's most things. Yeah, when it comes to computers.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it. There's been other games. If you look at Tarkov, there's the time they did an Unreal Engine update where they went from, I can't remember what version they went from. Was it 4 to 5? Or was it 3 to 4? I don't remember. But there was a time where they did a similar kind of thing, and it was a pretty big jump. But it was obviously doable. They did it.
Yep.
But I don't know what their team's like is in comparison to, like, say, the bigger team as far as size and expertise for that kind of thing.
My understanding, like initially Tarkov was built by a small team, but I don't know if they've grown because they're very popular. They're fairly popular, right? So I don't know if they've grew, along with the popularity.
They definitely they had, well, because of it got pretty big, and I'm assuming that came with like a big bump in revenue, right? Because they're always pushing, buying the packages, whatever. So then you got, and there's like, other than you see the steady streamers of it, there's always like seems to be new and old people coming in and going from it. So you gotta figure there must be a decent stream of income coming in for them.
Yes,
definitely. And there's no real in-game purchases on that. It's just you buy the game, and as far as I know, I don't think, unless they change things, I don't think.
On it, like I don't have a gaming PC yet, so it's like all I see is from streams, and I've never seen anyone buy anything. So
and there, when I was regularly playing, there wasn't anything. So unless something's been added, which I don't think there has been, I don't believe there is. There's like the internal flea market, which doesn't use real world money. It's just internal.
There is a game that hasn't added anything in years. What? Anyway,
surprise.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a while, so there'll be more details, I'm sure, to come. Like they'll release some more teasers, I guess, along the way. And we'll see.
And there's going to be dev streams. They'll talk about them, and
there's, because they've released this now, so every time there's a dev stream, someone's going to be, a bunch of people are going to be in the chat saying, what can you tell us about this? What's happening with this? So
pretty much.
So we'll see. We'll hear. Right now, as we're recording, it's the beginning of December. They're doing their Vigor Advent calendar right now. So I thought I'd bring that up. I haven't had a chance to, like, I've seen one tweet so far. Have you been paying any attention?
Yeah, they put them out. Unfortunately, I'm just never around on the Xbox to do the challenges, because I think 3 out of
Yeah.
the 4 days so far has been like the first 2 people who like post a pic or a clip of this like will win crowns. And it's like I think 2 out of the 3 days or 4 days I've been at work, or it's been the weekend, and it's like I'm not on the Xbox during the day. So I have a
Well, and
toddler.
that's kind of the
It's
thing,
like I
right?
need to take him outside so he gets tired and goes to bed and stuff. So
Yeah. So looking at when we're recording, because we're recording on a Sunday right now. Today's was on the fourth challenge was win elimination and secure first place in the winning
yeah,
team.
and
And
the
then
highest
the 2
score.
submissions with the highest individual first place scores will win 390 crowns. So that one's a little
Yeah,
different. It's not the first, it's just whoever
yeah,
the 2 that are highest. So that's not too bad.
yeah.
Um, let's see.
And
The
they don't just do it on Twitter. I believe they do it on Reddit as well. Um,
yeah, hopefully they're finding other ways to, because who knows what's going to happen with Twitter at this point, right? Because
no, they've
um,
always done both type thing.
no,
So like
yeah,
even when they do the community challenges where it's like take a picture of like of you and a squad mate on battery, right? They'll post it both on like Twitter and Reddit type thing, and Facebook too. Sorry, always forget about Facebook because I don't have it, but they do hit different platforms, right? So it's not just on Twitter that they do this kind of stuff. So
and yeah, looking at the challenges they put out so far, the other 3, the today's was the first one that didn't require you to be the first 2.
yeah,
The other 3 all said first 2. So the first one was is to get
hmm
gold medal with the barium 12 in the shooting range, and then the first 2 submissions, clips or picks would win. The second one was leave an encounter while you still have the adrenaline shot effects active. The first 2 submissions win. And then the third one was try out the new tutorial, take a short clip of your favorite part, and then the first 2 submissions win. So all of them been first 2 submissions, but this was the first that said the 2 submissions with the highest individual scores. So hopefully that becomes a bit more common with these challenges as opposed to just the first 2 for everything. Because
yeah.
there might be people out there who already have screenshots for half of this stuff already, right? Like, so whoever get into
Yeah,
their Xbox first, and
they did say though that they will be varying the times that the tweets go out, so it's not always going to be like say 2 p.m. Eastern time or whatnot. They
right.
are going to like vary them, so it's not like I'm always going to be at work, but uh,
Well, and
it's like
you gotta figure that hopefully they'll also make it so that's a convenient time for people closer to them too, because they're like North America's 7 hours, or depending on where you are, 5 to 8 hours behind them, right? Yeah, they're 7 hours ahead of us. So um, if they're always releasing it for our schedule, then there's people 7 hours ahead of us who
yep,
might be asleep, so they won't have a chance to take part, right?
yep, and
So
yeah,
they got
and
to
that's
figure
what
they
they're
got
going to
to
vary.
adjust it. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense that they don't do it all at the same time. But they also do more that don't require you to be the first, just as long as you submit and are potentially the best, then there's a chance. So, not
yep.
that I could be the first or the best in anything of those, but yeah, I guess you never know.
No, it's like, well, no, don't forget, like the anniversary challenge, they had like show like inventory full of loot of fuel type thing, right? Like
Yeah, that's true.
that isn't,
Which you just happen to have a screenshot
required.
for.
Well, yes, because it was amazing, and it's like, hey, it's like, how many other times am I going to actually get this? It's not going to happen
Yeah,
very
and it
often.
seems it'd be a bit harder now too.
Yep,
The way they've redistributed loot, so on a lot of
yep,
maps.
yep,
So yeah, ideas. Now, if we were to come up with some more ideas for new shelter improvements, did you have any? I know we've talked about this kind of thing before. Like if we were to
yep,
say, hey, what other in shelter improvements could they do?
yep. Definitely wrote a few ideas down anyways. Like obviously like it's been hashed around so much, like the fishing.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know, we talked about it last episode. It's like, sure, throw it down there, but again, like the issue is the food. There is so much food, like, you know, you need to rework. So if there is a rework of the food coming in with like said shelter upgrade for the legacy seasons, great. It's like, do it, make it happen, because it can't just be that simple fishing thing. And again, for all these upgrades or shelter improvements, right? We've talked about it too. You can't just use existing resources. Either we need a new resource, or we need like something where it's like you have to combine two
Yeah.
to create a different one. Like maybe there's an actual like now a like special issue gold like resource out there that we need, because like there's literally
Yeah.
nothing, right? So it's one thing that is going to have to happen one way or another, because there's been so many people done on Xbox
Yep.
with huge stockpiles of material resources. Yes, there's some that have deleted like the resources to get materials and whatnot, uh, but it still has to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, there's going to need new resources or something. But yeah, throw in the fishing there. That's fine. Like we got wire, we got like a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
You know, generate food, rework the food donations. Another thing I was thinking of would be some kind of like harvesting device or like automation. So you basically have an improvement that would kind of harvest like portions of your shelter for you. Now, I'm not saying
Okay.
100%,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Give me like max 30, 20%. Okay. And like, don't even give it like 13 levels, give it like 5 levels or so, let's say. Uh, so as you level it up, it's going to pick up like, let's say 5% of your yield of your rat traps or something like that. And everything else. Or if you want to make it like fancier, it's like, uh, make it so it's like individual, where it's like this just picks up rat traps or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something like that is just an idea. And let's say there's actually, if I talked about like shelter degradation at some point over the whole
Yep.
thing, if we can't get that for like the whole shelter, what if we just had degradation on like this one improvement, right? Because it's a moving machine, it's always going to be doing something. So how about, you know, you don't get it enough chemicals or something like that, it jams up and you know, it breaks down. So
Well, that's actually an idea too. Maybe after each season, a number of your improvements regress, and you have to rebuild them. Just like you said, as maintenance, right? So, like
yeah,
your antenna that gives you crowns, it's level 13. It goes down to level 12, and then you have to build level 13 again.
yeah,
Just as a way of maintenance, right? And you can do that with
yeah.
multiple things as just
Oh
a
yeah, like honestly, throw degradation to everything. Like I
yeah,
would think, because it's like, you
yeah,
know, you think of like the box of plants type thing. Like your soil goes bad really if you're not good
yeah,
at
yeah. In
gardening and
real life,
whatnot, right?
that's true.
So it's like uh, you could basically apply it to everything. To be
Hmm.
honest,
Yeah, yeah, because
um,
everything there's maintenance to it all. I guess like maybe the bin of metal, that's a little bit different because it's just
yeah,
that's metal you're collecting and just throwing in
you,
there.
you're
So
you're literally just going to get more metal out of it, right? If shit starts
yeah,
breaking down, so it's
yeah.
like it's like the
So yeah,
yield's
that
like
may not be.
massive now.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it starts filling up faster. So
Yes.
not that you
Yeah.
need any more metal because after you've built everything, that just fills up and it's like okay, yeah, I got more metal. But
Yeah.
you're going to need more metal for the other stuff. So
Yes. So yeah, a harvester, I think would be a good idea. Um, next,
indoor plumbing. So you
indoor
could have.
plumbing. Oh my god! But what are we supposed to do about the three seashells?
Yeah, true.
I still haven't learned how to use them. Uh, Maybe that's why I get indoor plumbing. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah,
next, it's been talked about for a while. Q crafting, obviously. I, you know what? I would go with Q crafting for like consumables and whatnot. Um, I
yeah.
I'm not a firm believer that it is not worth doing it for weapons. And again, it's so easy to get weapons in this game that I honestly, it boggles my mind that people are like spending like 12 hours crafting like their favorite gold or
Yeah.
military grade weapon.
The only time I
It is
ever
insane.
craft is for a challenge, and I just use stuff I have parts for. Now, of course, we've been playing a long time, so we've built up a lot of parts for different types of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, you know, if you don't like those crafting ones, say you don't have the parts to be able to do them easily, then I know it's kind of a sucky thing, but you can always re-roll it, and get a
Or
different
don't do
challenge,
it. Yeah.
or just don't do it. Wait till the next day, and you'll get a whole new challenge. So.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
exactly.
that
So
there it is now. The challenges I don't do every day just because, oh, yeah, go into eliminations, and I don't go into eliminations a lot because I tend
yeah.
to like the encounters more. I'll do the shootout ones a little bit more than I will the eliminations,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, like crafting, Q crafting for consumables, sure. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think there'd have to be a cap where it's like you can't just say like, I want to build like or craft 4,000 plates. It's like, no, that's going to be too resource intensive type thing.
well, and you
It
also have
caps
to have the
out at a certain point.
materials for it, but still, yeah, yeah.
Like, what if like the crafting, the Q crafting, like as the higher level it was, the more you could build or queue up,
Right.
right? Not
Yeah,
based on rarity or anything. Literally, just like I'm level 13, I could build 13 plates now or something like that. Like, just I'm randomly picking a number here, but like let's say it was like 15 plates max at a time.
right.
But
And that's the whole thing with the like when you get to a certain like when you get your chemical and your water distillations to a certain level, like the chemical one reduces your no, it's your water, it's your chemical no, your water and your
water
utility
is the
closet.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, and utility closet's the cost. So
yeah,
the water one, when you get to a max level, then you're insta crafting.
yeah,
So maybe if you're queuing, then obviously it's going to have to add time because you can't just
yeah,
instant craft 13 things. So
yeah,
yeah, like you said, the different levels could be how many you could do, but the more you do, the longer it'll take, right? So
yeah.
if you want it instant, it's one. If you want it, if you want to wait 10, 20, an hour, then it could be up to 13 or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Because it shouldn't if you're doing the queuing, it shouldn't be instant. It should be a
Yeah,
multiplier based on
yeah.
time or something. Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that. Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
But
I'm
yeah,
saying this
and
as if like I'm the executive
let's do
producer or
it.
whatnot. Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
Yeah. But it
Give
does
that
make
man
more
a
sense
raise.
to be able yeah, it makes more sense to be able to do consumables. Though that also then comes down to the type of consumable. Because they could almost see making meds queued because say you're cooking up a bunch of antibiotics or disinfectant or whatever. That's a little bit easier to understand. Okay, I'm going to queue that. How do you
Hold
queue
on.
making contact bombs?
No, no, I was going to say you wouldn't want to leave your shelter with like some kind of automated process that would make radiation grenades. What?
You think they'll go bad.
Like some little like nuclear fallout like right
Yeah, you
in your
come back, there's
shelter
like a
where
crater where your shelter used to be.
which is literally like the only place that's safe from radiation, right? Like that's the whole point of the shelter. For those who don't know, your shelter is safe from radiation because of the location, right? So there's enough winds that radiation doesn't come there. So now you're just going to mess it all up because you're Q crafting radiation grenades.
Radiation grenades. See, that's the thing. Like, the only consumable I can conceivably see Q crafting are meds, and I don't know. It's like,
Uh no, I see people doing like ports and
oh
armor just
no, I
because
see
like
people doing it. I'm just thinking as a
oh like in real life. Yes,
logically.
yes.
I'm just trying to think logically. The only thing I can see is you're making up a batch of whatever. They're taking some time to make, and then you have your batch of meds. But when it comes to
And
like,
yeah.
yeah, ports, yeah,
Yeah,
that's just all.
instead of like making a giant like keg of beer type thing or
Yeah,
a giant vat of or vat of like beer or ale or whatever you want to call it, you're literally just making like a giant thing of painkillers.
Yeah, painkillers. Yeah, you're making
Disinfectant.
up
Oh
the
my
thing,
God.
and then
Yeah. And then
you
you're
got
like
your
putting it
little
in tiny little
dispensary.
bottles. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like then you run out of glass bottles. Come on. It's like that's why you got to loot all that glass.
Yeah, you'll need a lot of glass for that, or plastic. There's nothing really in there for
Yeah.
plastic, is there?
Nope.
Because
Nope. There you go. New resource.
New resource, plastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loot all the plastic you
And back
can.
then plastic was all over the place, so it's like, hey, it could be common. It'll be great.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard to get plastic back then. Yeah. Or you're making it yourself out of gas. You're using gas and
yes.
it'd be
Chems
petroleum
and whatnot.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, this one I don't think I've seen this idea anywhere. But what if you had a shelter improvement that actually helped you with decreasing cost on the boosters? But I am not including a discount on insurance. Insurance for me should never be discounted. So what I would say is like as you level up, you're getting like 1 or 2 crowns off like a crate boost, or like so instead of 30 crowns it's going to be like 28.
Sure.
The issue is if you do booster apocalypse, then that kind of like throws a wrench into like all that stuff. But it was just an idea I kind of had because I was like, what if they did something like this where, because like people still complain that crowns are kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what if you did this to kind of mitigate that?
Or or an improvement to help your antenna out, so you're maybe producing a little bit more crowns. Because we already have
like the
improvements that help,
smokehouse,
like your rat trap, the smokehouse or the outhouse. So if there was something you could do to help, because that's the only other two things that produce anything are the antenna and the metal bin, and we don't need more metal. So so maybe some more crowns. Yeah, but that's not
like
bad
a
either.
discount
Like
or
a
booster.
little discount or a way to boost your crowns. Like those are two potential. Yeah.
And then another one. What if? So this one ties into the crate in encounters, but this would be like kind of a rework where instead of boosting crates, it's a random crate that you don't know going in. So like you could be going in, but you don't know that you're actually playing for like a blue, like a rare crate. So if you have a shelter improvement that actually increases the odds of a better crate.
Okay.
Know what I mean? So it's like you pick up the crate, it like you don't know what it is until you actually get out and you're back at your shelter. So it's like once that exit screen's there, it's like it shows, hey, you got a rare blue crate out of this one.
Right.
Like we all know the crates in encounters, like currently not a lot of people go for it. Like not a lot of people go
Especially
for
if
it.
it's not been boosted, when it's just a gray.
If it's not been boosted, if it's a gray, it's like a lot of people, they'll just go and like pick up some loot and leave, get some kills, leave. Like they don't care. Like unless they're actually trying to climb like the leaderboards on the airdrops, not a lot of people stick around.
Right.
So what if this kind of enticed people to actually stick around and fight for the crate?
You have a better chance of getting. But then would that be like every encounter there's a chance, or would you have it like every so many encounters, or like once a day,
it would be,
or
no, I like it would be every encounter, but it would be like it would be an RNG thing, right? So you'd have to rely on, like, let's say 1 out of every, like 1 out of 100 is a special issue. You could get a special issue standard, but then if you have this shelter improvement that is like, let's say maxed out, like it's 1 out of 40 crates,
right
type thing. But like again, it's RNG, so it doesn't mean that you have to play 40 to actually get that special issue.
No, but then it's also like you don't. It depends on how many crates you actually ever come out with too. So if you only come out, say, a crate with 1 out of every
Yeah.
5 games encounters or whatever.
Yeah. I'm just throwing out like 1 out of 100 type thing, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you could swap out the probabilities for whichever crate type thing, but uh, I'm just trying to figure out a way to like show the crates in the encounters some love to like actually, have people stick around for the crate
Right.
and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, if it's a common, it's like a lot of times they're staying in the outlands.
Then most likely it's been radiated, because I know whenever, quite often when I go to pick up a
Oh
crate,
yeah.
if I have a chance, I grab a crate. It's radiated. It's like,
Oh really?
okay, gotta run
See,
out so
I
many
don't
times.
get it. Yeah, I don't get it that often, but
Yeah.
it is definitely annoying when it is. It's like, oh my god, where's the exit? I got to get out of here because
Yeah, it's
like
like,
it
I
hit
found the red box,
hard.
great.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
and you pick it up, it's like, oh, I gotta go.
yeah.
Yeah.
It hit hard. Sorry. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, that's another one. Kind of like throughout there.
Ooh,
One last one.
interesting. I just had an idea for a consumable, a Geiger
Oh,
counter.
okay.
So
So you get
so
close
you can
to
see, you
the
get close
drop,
to the
and then
crate,
it's like,
you use the Geiger counter and see if it's going off.
oh.
That'd be interesting.
What? Oh my god, yeah. So what if you someone radiates the crate,
Or throws a
or
radiation
you?
grenade. And like, I know there's little specks you can see, but
Yeah,
if you had if, let's say, the Geiger counter like is like a jammer and it lasts for a certain amount of time, and you're getting close to an area that's, like, say you're within 50 meters of a
yeah,
where radiation area, whether it be a crate or a grenade, it
yeah.
starts to signal.
It let off a signal. Yeah, because
Yeah,
then you'd know where, like, let's say the red crate was if someone radiated it. So you could technically radiate the red crate on purpose, so you can actually find it
try to find it. Yeah.
quicker.
Oh, interesting. That could be interesting consumable.
Yeah, or even if, what if it was like, uh, kind of like a port? Like, what if that's too complicated, right? What if it was like a port that detected radiation on the map, and
Okay.
then and then
Yeah.
you snap your Geiger counter port type thing, and
Yeah.
then it picks up radiation after you radiate the red crate, and then it's like
Yeah, it
you're
shows on
you're
the
like,
map where there's a cloud of
yeah,
radiation or a speck of radiation.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that would
or
work
like a
too.
small circle, like an area type thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
like not the airdrop type area, but it's like like so many people know where the red crates are now because like they haven't really changed the spawn points, right? So it's like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go check like old geezers on Phil Canton, right? Because I know
Yeah.
it's in that building, right? So it's like, even if they throw in like a small circle, it's going to be at that spot right there, right? To go check that building. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, not a bad little idea there, Doc.
There we go. Get some
Brainstorming.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I like that. So the other thing too, would be, you kind of brought it up actually, near the beginning, where with like a sewing table.
Mhm.
I honestly, I didn't think about like calling it like a sewing table, but some kind of shelter improvement where it's like you get to customize outfits or something like that. Be it either like let's say it's a shelter upgrade that you get to save, like cosmetic loadouts type thing, where it's like, I like this outfit set, save it. But it's
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah.
you need a shelter level, one to have at least one slot.
Like
Let's
the
say.
weapon presets, just with the
Yes.
outfit presets. Yeah.
Yes. And while we're talking about that, why not make a shelter improvement to increase the number of uh,
Weapon presets.
weapon presets? Let's do it.
Yes,
So it's like,
absolutely.
I think it'd be cool. And then
Like a
what if
locker.
like,
Like for that one, it could be like a weapons locker.
yeah, yeah, because you already have technically like upstairs in the attic, you have a wardrobe, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you could have that there type thing. Well, no, because technically that already brings up your
It
screen, I
brings
think,
you,
for
yeah, it brings you into
your
the
outfits.
cosmetics area. Yeah.
So,
But it could have an
but
additional effect or whatever.
yes, and yeah, like if we had like the weapon locker, let's say in the armory, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just somewhere in the armory.
Because right now they have a table that shows you your one loadout.
Yeah, the actual crafting table.
Yeah.
Or no, that's next to the crafting table.
No, that's next to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's boom right there. That's where you go prompt. It's like, these are my weapon loadouts type. Well, you could only show one really because it's not a big table, but that's where
the table
the
would show your
interact
current one, but yeah, you could have a few extra like in your lockers or whatever, ready to go.
Boom, let's do it. Oh my god.
There you go.
Give us money. We thought of all the ideas. I'm kidding. Keep the ideas, make it happen.
Yeah. Because it's that
easy. Yes. But yeah, those are kind of like the ideas I've kind of like thought about. You know, like since this video came out, like I was like, oh my god, let's talk about this. And I kind of brainstormed, and so far that's kind of what I thought. Like I would love to hear, you know, other ideas for shelter improvements. So if you guys do have any shelter improvement ideas, like let us know, put it in the comments. And let us know what you guys think of like these ideas. But another thing too, Doc, that kind of like spurred some thoughts in my head about this. And I don't think I put it on inner notes type thing as our talking points, but like honestly, I think we need to talk about either shelter wipes or like some kind of prestige system. And like, again, these have been talked about for a while on and off. And it's, I don't know. I'm honestly, when I first started playing Vigor, and even like, let's say about halfway through like my shelter build, I want to say I was kind of against shelter wipes, but I'm at the point where I think I'm fine with wiping my shelter. Like either like straight wiping or implementing a prestige system where it's like you wipe the shelter and it's like you get some kind of title and maybe some cosmetics or something like that. And it's like then you just wipe everything. Materials, you basically start off with your basic loadout when you first start. Because it's like I'm confident in my abilities to rebuild my shelter. And like someone posted it on Reddit the other day. It was a basic poll: have you finished your shelter or whatnot? Yes or no? And like I said yes, and like I actually wrote, actually we're coming up in 2 days. I will have finished my shelter a year ago on December 6th. That's when I fired off the first upgrade. Or the last upgrade, I should say. So I don't know if you want to consider that finish the shelter, but essentially that's when like I started it, and for me it was done. But it's like I'd be fine with it because I said it in that Reddit post. I was like, you know what? Like someone asked, how many encounters did it take you? And I think I responded like 3,500 or so. I guarantee you is like I'd be able to like do it much quicker. Just knowing the gunplay, knowing how to loot, where to loot, like just the experience would help expedite building a shelter much quicker. So
totally. Yep.
That's why, like honestly, wipe my shelter or like give a prestige system to like just restart.
I like the idea of prestige. And there's different games that have done different things. You know, we know Escape from Tarkov. It's they do wipes, but it's not. It's a whole different things because they're coming up with a new version. They wipe everything, right?
Yeah.
But then you have Hunt. It does the whole prestiging. You get to a certain point, you can choose to prestige.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like that idea. I like, you know, it gives you a special title or whatever that you've prestiged. Or you've hit a certain level and you've gone through and you're going through your second time, and each time you do it, you know, maybe you get a different, you know, a new version of the title or something.
It's like you prestige the first time, boom, Xbox achievement right there. Like we haven't had a new Xbox achievement too in forever. So it's like what if I don't know how much work it is to like get an Xbox achievement put in, or the equivalent on PlayStation
The
or anything like
trophies.
that.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's like, what if we did that, and then let's say you get one for your first one, and then maybe like one for your next, the fifth, right? The fifth time you prestige or whatnot, like.
Well, I think you could even do it each time, because you know, it still took you a few years or a couple of years to get to one. So even
Yeah.
if you did do
The,
it a bit faster, you're not doing it
yeah.
that much faster. I guess there are people
The,
who play 8 hours a day and they might do it like quick,
yeah.
but your average
It's
person,
because
even
I'm just thinking, because like other games don't do like an increment for every, like an achievement like that. That's why I
no,
would say like you do
but then this
one,
could be the one.
what yeah, 1, 5,
Yeah,
10 type thing, or something like something exponential type thing, or not exponential, that's probably the wrong word, but like
yeah.
1, 5, 10, 25, like I don't know, but yeah, at some point it's like I think they need to have serious talks. My understanding is there has been some serious talks about a wipe. There was at one point uh, in a dev stream, like this is a while ago, I believe, where they said we're not doing another wipe, because they actually did a wipe way back when, I believe before seasons actually started.
Right.
But uh, they didn't want to alienate the veteran player base. But like honestly, as a veteran, I know I don't speak for everyone, but
Yeah.
I'm fine. Like
Well,
prestige wipe, just do it.
yeah, it should be optional. It should be
Yeah.
something you can choose to do. You know, just
Yep.
like in a hunt, you don't have to, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think it'd be a great idea, and yeah, I don't know. I still the chances of people doing it, like you said, 5, 10 times. I don't know. You're talking about many years to even get to 2 or 3. So like
Well,
even thinking of stuff like
yeah,
the traveling one, where for a while traveling, wasn't being recorded. Now
yeah,
it's being recorded again. It's still taking me forever to get to, and I run a lot, and it's still taking me
yeah,
forever to. I'm not
yeah,
sure where I'm at on that one, but yeah,
yeah. I have no idea. It's like
yeah,
impossible to check your actual progress, right? So,
yeah,
um, yeah, no, it's like, yeah, something like that has to come into effect type thing, because again, they talk about endgame, and like for me, endgame in Vigor has always is and will always be your shelter, right? So it's like uh, I don't know,
yeah,
and who knows, maybe this way, like you implement a wipe or a prestige system, it's like you don't have to worry anymore about the food, because all the food's being wiped out. There's an overabundance of materials. Everyone has like a ton of materials. Well, most people have a overabundance of materials. We talked about
yeah,
that in like one of our podcast episodes.
yeah,
Uh, that gets reset to basically zero. Weapon stashes, which again, so easy to get weapons. Boom, stashes are like gone. Consumable stashes too. Boom. It's like it just makes so much sense. I think
You
to
could
do it
even
that
do
way.
it. Yeah, you could even do it where, say, you reset all your things, your shelter's improvements to 0, but say maybe your shelter still looks fully done, but then maybe you get a new color to your shelter. The
Yeah,
ability, like each time you
some
prestige.
kind of customization to it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe you can
because of it.
change a flag, so it's not always a Norway flag. But yeah,
What's wrong with the Norway flag? I
no,
like
there's
it.
nothing wrong with it.
I know.
It'd be nice
I
to
would
have
love it
some.
like a, yeah, nice maple leaf flag,
Yeah.
like Canadian maple leaf, not Toronto maple leaf. But
No.
anyways, um, yeah, it it needs to, like, I'm hoping that we see something like this with these shelter upgrades. And again, like they didn't specify either how many shelter upgrades were coming. They just talked about in this video that
Yeah.
this one building improvement would replace legacy season. So it's
Right.
not like they specified like there's going to be like another 5 or whatnot, right? So
yeah,
who
doesn't
knows?
mean there can be more
So
coming down the line. So, but yeah, I guess we'll see what they reveal as we come, because I think this week, I haven't heard anything, but this week may be another dev stream.
nope,
If they
nope.
nope,
So the
okay,
last
did they
dev
mention
stream they specified that
that the
there was
last for
going
the
to be a
year?
break.
Oh,
No,
okay.
the next one is on December 14th.
Oh,
so
okay.
And then that, just to note, that last dev stream they did say that they were going to introduce or have a double XP weekend around the holidays. So I'm assuming they're going to announce it during that dev stream, and I kind of guess that it would be either that following weekend or I have a hard time seeing them do it actually like Christmas
I can't
weekend.
see it being the
So
Christmas weekend. Yeah,
yeah, I would think like
so part of the weekend
Friday,
before.
December 16th to like say like
Yeah.
the 18th or even the 19th. Maybe they extend it like they did kind of last time type thing. But yeah, so December 14th. So not this Wednesday, the following Wednesday.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, because when this is coming out, it's going to be like a day late, because normally it would be out. Well, when this comes out, it'll be at the Tuesday that it's coming out. When you're seeing this now, as opposed to the Monday, just because we had to record a day later because I had a Christmas party. So,
yep, and I had a Christmas party earlier today.
Yeah, guess it's that time of the year.
Yes.
All right. But yeah, I think that's a good place for us to cap it this week.
Yep.
That was a good topic, and it was a good conversation, and that was really interesting. Give us a lot to think about.
Yep. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, leave some stuff in the comments. What you think of some of our ideas. How would you, if there's something you liked, would you do anything a little different? Let's get some discussion going. That'd be kind of good. And I don't know if the devs ever see the comments or not, but you never know. Maybe it would help. Maybe if anyone sees it, they'll get an idea and go with it. But yes, like, share, subscribe, as we mentioned before, and send comments. But as always, I'm Dr. Anton.
And I'm DJ Spencer.
And stay safe in the Outlands. Have a good night.
Bye.
Lost your way again. You don't see your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame